Hello everyone, my name is Matt and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to show you another PowerPoint tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create a guessing game. So using PowerPoint, I will show you how to make different things disappear using the exit animation. So I think this is a really important thing that you should learn how to do with PowerPoint. It'll enable you to do all sorts of fun things with your PowerPoint to improve your lessons and make them more interesting for your students. So I'm going to go through and show you some of my guessing games and explain to you how I play them in my own lesson. And then I'm going to show you how to create those slides. Okay. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button. That really helps out my channel. Subscribe if you're new here. And also, if you want to purchase some of my PowerPoints, you can use the links below to go to my store, my Teachers Pay Teachers store, my Taobao store. So I really hope that you appreciate these videos. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so before I show you how to create a guessing game, I want to show you some examples of guessing games in my own lessons. If you want to just skip ahead and see how I create a guessing game, I'll leave a timestamp below. You can just go to that part of the video. So let's take a look at a few examples of these guessing games, and I'll explain to you how they work and why I use them. So this guessing game is from Favorite Sports Lesson, and essentially with a guessing game, what you're trying to do is increase your students' focus on the dialogue or a new word or whatever through the guessing game. Now here we have a question and answer, right? What is your favorite sport? My favorite sport is, and there's a blank, okay? If you are just asking the students to tell you what their favorite sport is, it's not as interesting, right? Many students won't feel focused and it's boring, okay? But if you do this as a guessing game where they're competing against each other, now it's interesting for them. Now they're thinking, okay? Now they're trying to win. And that's why a guessing game is really powerful. So here I have 3 sports, right? Badminton, football, and baseball on the bottom. And there is a question mark. Now you tell your students that one of these sports is behind the question mark. If you're teaching this to grade 1 or grade 2 and your students' English ability isn't that good, during the first round they might not all fully understand what the purpose is. But after the first round, they're all going to get it, okay? So the way you play is call on one student from each team, have the class ask them the question, or the team ask them the question, or you can have 2 students from one team come up at the same time. One asks and one answers, okay? So for example, let's say we ask the question, what is your favorite sport? And they say, my favorite sport is, they should say all the words in the sentence. They should say the full sentence. My favorite sport is football. Okay, for that team, you mark down that they said football. Then the next team, same thing. What is your favorite sport? My favorite sport is badminton. Okay, you mark down that that team says badminton. And then so on, okay, for all of the teams. Now, if the teams want to say the same thing as a previous team, that's totally fine. Okay, and then you reveal the answer, okay? Now, football is the answer. That's the correct answer, okay? Now, during the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to create that animation, how you can make something like that disappear so that you can actually use this in class. Because, of course, you could play a guessing game just with the blackboard, just with flashcards. Of course, you could do that, okay? But today, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to actually do it in class, okay? So here's another example. Same thing, okay? Okay, so that's how it would work in this class. Now here's an example from my winter sports lesson. Okay, here's how it works in this lesson. Same sort of thing. So we have 3 different options and we have a question mark. Students take turns answering the question and then we reveal the answer. Okay? Now again, with a guessing game, make sure they say the full sentences, make sure they do it correctly. fully, okay? Because the purpose of this is not to have the kids have fun, okay? That is one of the outcomes of a game, is that they have fun. But the purpose is for them to learn, for them to speak, for them to improve their fluency, for them to think about the vocabulary words, okay? Let's show another example. This one's from the My Family lesson. This one's a little bit different. Take a look, okay? So in this lesson, they were learning different family members, okay, and also girl, boy, man, and woman, okay? So here, they need to do the same thing. They need to guess, okay? So she is my, okay, she is my. Now it could be older sister or younger sister, because in this lesson, that's what they learned. They learned mother, father, older sister, older brother, younger brother, grandma, grandpa, okay? It's a girl, okay? So they need to recognize that whatever is behind here is a girl, okay? Now, who are the girls? Older sister and younger sister, okay? So if they guess older sister, they would get 2 points, okay? You could obviously change that 2 points to 5 points. Later in the video, I will show you how to add that animation as well. How do you add in something that will also pop up at the same time as something is disappears, okay? So how can you make something disappear and then something appear at the same time, okay? Here's the same thing. So now there's woman. They can see the word woman. They know that grandma and mom or mother are both woman or women, but we're not teaching the plural. So they know that both of those go with the word woman. So which one is it? Okay, so during this guessing game, they need to be able to recognize and remember, okay, woman, okay, we learned two, we have mother, grandma. Okay, those are the two options that we can guess. Okay, so if each team has a chance to play, they're either going to guess mother or grandma, okay, or grandmother. Now, during the class, let's say you're playing with a large class, it's fine that only a few students are coming up to play because all of the students are watching and thinking, okay, it's woman, it's got to be these two. If all of a sudden, one of the students who's playing the game says older sister, a lot of students are going to say, no, older sister is not woman, that's girl, okay? So they're also thinking, okay? So in this case, they get 3 points. And then here we have man, so it's either father or grandfather, same deal, okay? Father's the answer here, okay? And then here we have boy. So it's either younger brother, older brother, and so on. Okay, here's another example from How Does It Feel? The 8 Different Textures lesson. This one's a little bit different. Let's take a look at how this one works. So in this lesson, they learned different textures like hard, prickly, fuzzy, soft, sticky, rough. What were the other ones? There's a few other ones. And in this case, they need to guess, okay? So they need to guess what's behind this question mark, okay? They don't know, it could be any number of random nouns, okay? The random noun doesn't matter what it is. I add a random noun there just to teach them an extra word, something I think is interesting. But in this case, the point is for them to just guess, okay? I think whatever it is behind that question mark feels hard and prickly. I think it feels soft and fuzzy. I think it feels rough and sticky. So we're having them say a full sentence with I think, because then no one knows, I mean, I made the PowerPoint, but I probably, when I taught this, didn't even remember which was the correct answer, okay? So I don't know either. All of us are just guessing, and we get them to say the full sentence. And it's more interesting this way, right? How can I, when I'm making lessons, when I'm creating new stuff, I'm always thinking, how can I draw their attention to whatever it is that I want them to practice? How can I make them do this in a way that is interesting? Because a lot of times it's not interesting in itself. But if you turn it into a guessing game, okay, then it becomes interesting, okay? So they all make their guesses, saying the full sentences. You write down what they guessed, A, B, or C, and then you reveal the answer, okay? So the answer is hard and prickly. And they get to learn a new word here, hedgehog. The students don't know the word hedgehog, okay? But now they can see it there, and I have the translation, and they get to learn a new interesting word. Okay, they'll write it in their notebook. Okay, same thing here. Okay, the exact same thing. They all say the full sentence. Okay, actually during this game also, you can actually say to them, since this is part of the dialogue, how does it feel? Okay, how does it feel? You can write how does it feel on the board. During the game, when they're playing, you ask them, okay? You can have the whole class ask them. I didn't have it here on the PowerPoint, on the slide, but I mean, maybe it's something I should add, that's something to think about. But during the class, you could just write it on the board. I used to have a video of myself teaching this in class. Sorry, that's no longer available. So they would say, I would say, how does it feel? They say, I think it feels soft and rough. I think it feels soft and sticky. I think it feels soft and smooth. Okay, then you reveal the answer. Okay, feels soft and sticky. It's a spider web. Okay, next one. Same deal. Okay, they all guess. You ask them the question, they guess, reveal the answer. It's a car tire. Hard and rubbery. Okay. Okay, here's an example from the Do You Have a Pet lesson. Same sort of deal here. Okay, so now it's a little longer dialogue. So, do you have a pet? Yes, I do. What pet do you have? I have and there's 3 choices. A dog, a cat, a fish. Okay, okay, they could say, I have a fish. You write down that team says a fish. I have a cat. You write down that team says I have a cat. And then you reveal the answer. Okay, the answer is a cat. A cat wins. Okay, so now it's a little bit longer of a dialogue. There's two questions. Okay, how you play this game in your class is totally up to you. The purpose is that if it's a guessing game, it's way more interesting. Okay. Okay, here's an example from my first day of school How Are You lessons. There's 2 versions of this lesson, vocabulary set 1 and vocabulary set 2. So this will be a mix of both of them. Okay, so again, how are you? There's 3 options below: fine, very well, and hungry. They say their answer, you write down their answer. Each team gets a chance to guess, then you reveal the answer. Okay, the answer is hungry. Okay, this is from the other one, vocabulary set 2. Options are angry, so-so, and fantastic. They all guess. The answer is angry. Okay, I can show you how to animate all that, All right, so here's an example from the shapes lesson. Okay, guess the color. Okay, so now there are 3 colors. Now, you're teaching grade 1, you're teaching grade 2, you've taught the colors. But in this lesson, they're learning the shapes. But now we can also mix it together with them practicing the colors. So they can guess, is it purple, is it green, is it red? Okay? The answer is green. A green triangle. You're teaching grade 1, you want them to be able to remember how to add a color to a noun. Green triangle, not triangle green. Okay? A green triangle. Okay? Same thing here. They all have a guess. What is it? It's a white square. Okay? Again, guessing games just make things so much more interesting for the students. It's like a game show. Okay? They get a chance to come up. Who would like to try? They come up. They feel like they're the center of attention. They get to practice saying whatever English it is. And then the answer is revealed. And yeah, points. Okay? Let me show you another example. This is from the What Do You Have Classroom Objects lesson, again, for grade 1 and grade 2. Okay, so in this lesson, again, there's a dialogue. What do you have? I have a pencil. What color is it? It's, okay, and they can guess yellow, blue, and green. This lesson is meant to be taught directly after you teach the what is your favorite color lesson when they learn the colors. You can actually purchase these 2 as a combo, okay, because I believe they go together quite well. Same deal. So they do the dialogue one by one, they practice, and they guess which color. So they get to practice saying the noun, which is here, in different colors, and what color is it? It's yellow, it's blue, it's green. What's the correct answer? It's yellow. If they guess yellow, they get points. You can decide how many points they should get, okay? Same deal here, okay? I love guessing games. Maybe 5 years ago when I first started really making PowerPoint all the time, I started really thinking about, actually it was probably less than that, probably 4 years ago, when I really started thinking of using guessing games in class. I used to do guessing games with flashcards, right? You'd hide a flashcard, but then you have to have 2 versions of every flashcard, or if you have to write stuff on the board, it just takes longer. If you have access to a computer, if you can use PowerPoint in class, it just makes everything much easier. Okay, so how to create a guessing game. Now, there are a lot of ways you could do this. There are multiple ways to get to the same result in some cases, but I'll show you the way that I do it. So this is the first example I showed you from the favorite sports lesson. I'm assuming that everyone knows how to add these different words and how to add pictures and things to a PowerPoint. If you do need to see or do want to see a tutorial about how to do that, please leave a comment below. I can definitely create a video showing you how to create, the basics, the very basics of PowerPoint. But for this video, I'm assuming you already know how to do all those things, and now I'm just showing you how to create the guessing game. Okay, so we need to make the question mark box that will hide the answer. Okay, so you go to shapes, and I'm going to apologize in advance because my computer runs slowly when I'm recording my screen. So I will draw the box. Okay, I can draw it anywhere because I can move it around afterward, but I'll just draw it here. I generally like to make them black. It just looks better, I feel like. So, and I'll put a question mark on it. Okay, and I'll make the question mark bigger, obviously. I want it to be big enough the students can see it. And I like Comic Sans. Okay, and also just, if people are curious, I like to, recently I've been making all of them 3D things, like 3D, make them pop out a little bit. I think it looks better, so I always click this one, which makes it look a little bit better. And then for this lesson, I had a blue outline on it, so you go like this. The line, you can choose whatever blue you like, and you can make it a bit thicker, so it kind of matches the, everything there. Okay, so here now we have the box, but nothing's going to happen here right now, right? I'll show you. If I just have it like this is the way the slide looks, right? It already shows the answer, the check mark there, and nothing happens. It'll just go to the next slide. So how do I make that animated? The way you do it is go to, I'm using a Mac, but on a PC it's a similar process. So go to animations, and there's these things called exit animations. Okay, so you click that, and all of these are going to make whatever you have selected disappear. So there's multiple different ones you can use. You can make it float down, shrink and turn, sink down. You can make it do all sorts of different animations as it's leaving the screen. I generally just use like float out or zoom. I'll show you what this one looks like. I like this one because I like the float down and the zoom one because it doesn't happen instantly, so the students have a chance to see it go away like that. Okay, if you use just the disappear one, it happens really fast. You can change the speed of it, obviously, but just this one, I don't think it's as interesting. You could make it do all sorts of other things. It could spin and fall. You could make it do all sorts of stuff. I generally like this one. Float down. I think it looks nice. Let's see what it looks like. Computer's running slowly. We're gonna freeze on me. Don't freeze on me now. All right, there it goes. All right, that's the one I like. So now how can I make this check mark appear? I got to remove one of them. I added two, so I need to just keep one of them. If you have two of them or something, you can exit out using this to get rid of it. Now I also want this check to appear, okay, at the same time as this box disappears. So I'm going to click on this. You don't have to have this during a guessing game. The students can clearly see, oh, ice hockey, that's that. But I like to have this as well. So now you need to have an animation that's coming in. So one of the green animations as well. So you can just do fly in, or there's a bunch of different ones you can choose. Float in, zoom in. You can do any of these. Sometimes I like to use the bouncing one. I think it looks cool. It'll make it bounce in, okay, like this. Okay, and I want them to happen simultaneously at the same time. Right now it says 1 and then 2, which means, and it has this clicking thing, this symbol, which means that it's going to happen when I click the mouse or when I touch the screen. Okay, so it's going to happen one by one. Okay, so I want them to happen at the same time. So you go down to timing, and you make sure you clicked on the second one, and you do with previous. Okay, now they're going to happen at the same time. Let's take a look, make sure it looks good. Okay, they do the dialogue, they all guess, you push the button, voila. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's how that one works. Now let's go to this one here. Now on this one, we needed to have 2 question mark boxes, right? Both of them need to disappear. One of them needs to block the family member. Okay, this time I'm just going to do it quickly, so I'm not going to make it look all beautiful with like all the 3D whatever. I'll make the question mark big and stuff, and I'm not going to change the outline and all that. You can you remember. If you don't remember, go back and watch what I just said. But I must have Comic Sans. I can't have the other one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, obviously I could go through this process twice, once for this one and then once for the question mark that's going to go over top of grandfather, but I'm just going to make it once and then copy it. Okay, so I can skip that step. Okay, so same thing, we're going to go to animations, exit animation to make it disappear. We'll just do float down. Okay, it's going to float down like that. Now all I'm going to do is copy and paste it. So you could, copy and paste. Oops, why'd you do that? Don't change slides. All right, copy it. I don't actually normally do it this way. I use shortcuts. I do I want it so you can see it. Normally I use shortcuts, so that's why that happened. I want everyone to see the easy way. So let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and now I need this one to block grandfather, so I need it to be different shape. So you're going to drag it like this and drag it like this. Might be too big. You just want to get it to fit perfectly over top of what you're trying to hide. So like this. Okay, that's good like that. Okay, now also for this, so these are going to happen now. Again, they're going to happen one after the other, so you need to change the timing here. So it needs to be with previous. Now they're going to happen at the exact same time. Let's just make sure that it looks good. Yeah. Okay, and now I want to add in the points. If you remember, I had a slide, not a slide. I had something flying in to show the points. You don't have to. You can just tell them that there's a certain amount of points. But if you want to do it the way I had it, giving them points, you can do the same thing. I like to make the points something bright, something they can see. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's change the color. Let's make it Comic Sans, of course. Okay, and now this one needs to appear at the same time. Okay, so we need to go to animations that come in. You need fly in animation, and then again here it is, but it's going to happen after. There's a 2 there, which means, so this means on this click, this one's going to come in, this one's going to come in with it, and then you have to click again to cause that one to come in, but I want them all to come in at the same time, so I do with previous. Now they're all going to come in simultaneously. In this PowerPoint, I actually didn't have any sound effect, but if you want to add a sound effect, you can. Just go to effect options. All of these are going to happen simultaneously, so it won't matter which one you're clicked on, but if you want it to happen with this, you can click on the first one and then go to sound, and you can make it, there's lots of different sounds. Okay, I like the whoosh one, but you could use the wind one. They're both good for making it sound like something's leaving. And then now let's see what it looks like. Ooh, okay. And also if you want to add, if you've watched some of my videos, I like the applause one. There'll be 2 sounds happening at the same time though, so it'll be, let's see how that works. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, yeah, I really like using these animations, and adding sounds adds a different element. Some classrooms don't have sound that works though, so you need to make sure your sound works if you want to use the sound. Okay, let's take a look at another example. So again, I need to add the question mark box. Same deal here. Need to cover up the answer. Remember, this word is going to fly in, so I don't need to cover it with the question mark box. That's going to be something that flies in afterward. I do need a question mark here, obviously, and make it bigger. And it must be Comic Sans. I love Comic Sans. Okay, so same deal here. I want this to disappear, but I also want the 2 wrong answers to disappear as well. You don't need to, but it's just easier. If you don't have them disappear, then you're just saying it, and it's not as visual for the kids. So here, this one needs to be, so we have smooth and prickly, hard and sticky, soft and rough. It should be soft and rough. Okay, so we need soft and rough. We need the other 2 to disappear as well. Okay, so what you do is you can hold. I have a Mac, so I hold Command. I believe it must be Control if you're using a PC. If you know, you can leave a comment below, and you need to do these at the same time. That's the quickest way to do it. Okay, so that when you add the animation's applied to, or the exit animation is applied to all of them at the same time. Okay, so they all disappear at the same time. Okay, if you wanted to do them one by one, you could, and then you just need to change the timing of them. So if you click on this one, I'll just show you. Okay, so let's say we just did the one, we just added the exit animation to just this one, and I want to add it to this one. Okay, I do the same thing. Okay, and then I do it to this one. Same thing, click. Okay, and then you just go, once they're here, then you go to timing, and you go to with previous and with previous. And now they'll happen at the same time. And I also want this one to fly in. Okay, so I can go to one of the entrance animations to make it fly in. And the same thing, I want them to happen at the exact same time. So I do with previous, and now it'll happen like this. Okay, that's how that one works. It's quite simple. Again, if you want to add in some sounds, you can type in, well, let's say I want the wind one. So you have wind, and then you can click on any of the other ones. You just can't add two sounds to the same one here, but since they're all happening at the same time, it doesn't matter. I can click on one of the other ones. It doesn't matter. And this is what it will look like in your class. Ooh. Okay, very, very, very simple. Okay, so for this one, I want to not only add in the question mark, but I want to make these actually move. Okay, when the question mark disappears. So again, same deal. Let's add in question mark box. After seeing me do this so many times, I think you will remember. Gotta have Comic Sans. Make it big. And Comic Sans. Okay. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to make it disappear. Go to the exit animations, or exit effects, I should say. It disappears. Okay, now the answer is bad. So we want bad now to also have an animation. Okay, obviously I can make these two disappear like I just showed you, but I want to do a different animation this time. So I'm going to highlight. I highlight both of them. I click on both of them, but you can just click on just the picture if you want. And now we're going to use these. Okay, these make they make them move. They just animate them. They don't make them appear or disappear. They just make them move. And the one I really like for this is teeter. I just think it looks cool. Okay, teeter. Okay, but if you just do that, so first, obviously, I want them to happen at the same time as this thing disappears. So same thing. I'm going to change to with previous. Now, if you just, I'll show you. So if you just leave it like this, it's just going to look like this. Okay, and you can see that it stops, which is fine. I mean, it's totally fine, but I like if it just continues that way. Like, let's say you're doing something else in class, you're explaining, you're having them practice, you're having them say, I am bad, I am bad. You're having them say it a few times that the animation is still moving. So what you need to do is you can highlight both of them. You can do one by one. Again, you can do one and then the other, but if you know how to make them both get be highlighted at the same time, if you have a Mac, you hold Command and do this. Then we're going to go to where it says repeat, and you're going to, you can make it repeat 5 times, 10 times, whatever. I just like to make it repeat until the next click or the end of slide. I'm going to do the end of slide because I want it to continue until I go to the next slide. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Okay, obviously you can also add in the sounds. So we have sounds here. You can go, and I should make a separate video called how to end sound, how to add sound. Maybe I'll do that as well, so people can specifically learn that from that video instead of needing to watch this one. So you can do whoosh, and then you can do the applause. Obviously, you can choose whatever you like, but I like these two. So now it looks like this. Okay, the guessing game. They all guess, and then we show the answer. Okay, so that's the way that works. Very easy and very fun. And then there's just one more here that I'm going to show you. So here, the answer is actually this one, this bubble. So really, they're just going to see it like this, and then this one's going to appear as well. So same deal. Let's add in the question mark to cover the answer. We can use like a fully squared off one this time if you want. Doesn't matter. Change it to black. It's assuming I want black. Okay, question mark. And who can tell me which font Teacher Matt will choose. Of course, Comic Sans. I got that habit from Teacher Val, honestly, and I really like it. I like it because Comic Sans has the A's look like A's. If you change to a lot of other fonts, the A's look not like anyone actually writes them. That's why I don't like that one. So same thing here. We're going to make it disappear. So go to exit animations and choose a different one this time. Let's do shrink and turn. Okay. Now we also want this one. There's how it looks like. That's how it will look. Now we want this also to appear. So same thing. You choose your entrance animation. I just like to do dissolve in. So it looks like this. Okay, and drag it over top. So it's covering up. So it will cover up the answer. We want them to happen simultaneously. So we're going to do previous. I want sound. So for this one, I want the whoosh. Whoosh. And then for this one, I want the applause. Again, all this is optional. You don't need sound, obviously. I only really started using the sound a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Not all my PowerPoints have sound because I do think it can be distracting, but I do think it adds kind of a cool element to the PowerPoint. So this is how it looks. Dialogue. Then we show the answer. Yeah! Obviously, you could also make, like I just showed you, you can make this now also teacher, which I don't believe I have in my original lesson this way, but you can, okay? So there it is. You can add in to happen with previous and to last until the end of the slide. Now it's full. Like I said, my lesson doesn't actually have all these in it, but I could add it, and change it in my store. Ooh. Okay, so that is how that works. I'm going to make another PowerPoint video about how to use the triggers. So that will be coming soon. If you are very interested in that and you've made it this far into the video, please hit the like button and leave a comment below letting me know that you heard me say this and that you watched it this far. I will really appreciate you. Really, really, really appreciate you. All right, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please hit that like button. That really helps out my channel. Subscribe if you're new here. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.